We're going to do a teardown of the CAFE12 receiver front here. That's the recoil plate that I'm selling in the Liberator 12K store. You can cut one out of a mild plate, 3-inch mild bar from like Home Depot. They sell 3/8 by 2-inch, and you have to print a different one of these recoil plates because it'll be one of these receiver fronts because it'll be square. But you can either buy one or make one. It's much easier to just buy one for me. Trust me on that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove the 1.5-inch 832 bolts from the firing pin housing, fire control housing. Pull those out almost. There we go. Pull those out. And I'm going to pull the firing control group housing out. That contains the firing pin. That's all there is to this. Set that aside. The firing pin is a 6D box nail, this printed collar, and a spring. So get that set down here. Now we're down to just the receiver front without any fire control group parts on it. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these 832 bolts. They are 832 by 1.5. All right, so we got all 4 of those up. We're gonna tap this out. It might be a little snugger on the top here in this one. Okay. There's a little trick. Just rock that out. Okay. So that's the receiver front and the recoil plate, the fire control group housing, the firing pin assembly, 832 by 1.5-inch bolts, pair of those, and 832 by 1/2-inch bolts, and there's 4 of those. That's the complete assembly. That's a 5/64 wrench. This video will cover a CAFE12 receiver front assembly, which includes the fire control group housing and recoil plate. So to get started here, I'm going to take the fire control group housing and the recoil plate. I'm going to get that in there. And if it's a little snug, so we have the hammer and towel, we're just going to tap that in there. Seat that, and then we're done with those. Next, we can screw in the recoil plate with these 832 by 1/2-inch screws, and there's 4 of these guys. This is a 5/64 hex wrench. And if this is your first assembly, you may need to chamfer all these holes here. It will make your assembly a little easier. Should have a chamfer bit, make your life groovy. Okay. Thanks, dog. Okay. And now we can assemble the fire control group housing. So the firing pin is already done here, but all it is a, I'll come back. This firing pin is already assembled. There's a 6D box nail in here, a little spring, and the firing pin collar. So this is already pre-cut. It's 1 and 5.35 inches long. So we're going to take that guy, insert in there, stick that into the firing pin hole and push down. That'll keep this thing from walking off on you. So these are 1.5-inch 832 bolts, and we're just going to screw those in. There is your assembled CAFE12 recoil plate on the receiver front with the firing pin housing, the fire control group housing, and firing pin, which moves smoothly and protrudes just a teensy bit.